Hello students, welcome to Python online classes. Today I am going to explain about the concept of benefits of functions. So by using functions, how many benefits we have in this session we will discuss. Now let us start our session. Okay. So explain the benefits of functions. Give the example of random numbers. Give the example of random numbers. So first let us understand about the benefits of functions. Each and everything. There are several benefits. There are several benefits by using the functions in the Python programming language. What are they? The first one is simpler code. If you write a logic program, if you write a large program into multiple functions, then that code becomes very simple to understand. Very simple to understand. For example, if you have 1,000 lines of code, for example, if you have 1,000 lines of code, practically I am explaining. For example, bank project we have to take to understand the concept. So what are the services we have in the bank project? Deposit service, and withdrawal service. Next, balance inquiry service. Next, net banking service. And next, mobile banking service, and etc. Some other extra services also we have. Now for your understanding purpose, these many services are enough. So if you want to develop a bank project, compulsory these many services we have to understand, and we have to write for this services logic into a single program. If you write the code for all services in single program, then sometimes you will get some error messages also. So where it is rising the error, where the problem is rising, we can't find out. If you write all services into a single program, all services into line by line of code, if you write for this all services, then you can't find out the mistakes. You can't debug the mistakes also. So for that purpose, we need to write this entire logic. First we need to break the code into a different pieces of code. How you can split this? First, deposit service. So deposit service, and next withdrawal service, and next balance service, next net banking service, next mobile banking service. So now we have 5 services. First, this entire program logic, if you want to write all logics into a single program, maybe you will get 1 lakh lines of code. So in that 1 lakh lines of code, you can't find out. If you have any mistakes, then you can't find out that mistakes. Even you can't solve that problems also. So that is very critical. So to avoid all those problems, first we need to split this all services into a single piece of codes. Nothing but deposit service is this one. This code you need to write in separately. Next, first we need to separate this service. After that we need to separate this service. After that we need to separate this service. Like that, remaining also, mobile banking, net banking, all those things we need to separate. Separately, we have to write this services code. After that, this service code you need to place into a function. You need to place into a function. Which function? Deposit function. So, deposit function. Deposit function place. Deposit service content. For example, deposit service content 100 lines of code. This 100 lines of code into a code you need to write in deposit function. You need to write in deposit function. Like that, withdrawal function is also same. Like that, withdrawal function is also same. Net balance inquiry is also same. Net banking service is also same. Mobile banking service is also same. So this entire code we need to separate and put into a functions. We need to put into a functions. Withdrawal function. And next one, balance inquiry function. Next one, net banking service. This is also one of the some other function, net banking function. And next one, mobile banking function. Mobile banking function. So like that, we have to separate this entire code into separately. We have to write that code, and instead of writing the entire code into a single program, and you need to separate and keep into a different functions. The function name is what? If you want to deposit some amount, the compulsory that related code you need to write into a deposit function. So withdrawal also same, balance inquiry is also same, net banking is also same, mobile banking is also same. So each and every code, that particular related code separately you need to separate and keep into a that related function. Then only this here, how many lines of code you have in the first? Maximum 1 lakh lines of code you will get for all these services. So here you cannot understand, but you separate this code into a different functions. Here you get only 100 lines of code. So by reading 100 lines of code, you can simply understand. If you simply understand and you can easily find out the mistake, you can easily solve the problems. So that is the use of functions. The first benefit is what? Simpler code. If you write a large function into a multiple functions, then the code becomes very simple to understand. So that is the major advantage of simpler code. If you separate a large program into a multiple functions, if you break a large program into a multiple functions, then the code becomes very simple to understand. Easily you can modify, easily you can debug. Debugging means modification, resolving the problems. Mistakes correction. Next one, code reusability. Code reusability. The first benefit is over now, right now. So now I am deleting this one. And next one, code reusability. Code reusability. Code reusability means once you write the code, for example, wait. Now I am deleting this one because of this is the first benefit of example, and the bank project is same for the second benefit is also. The second benefit is what? Actually code reusability. How the code reusability is useful for developers, then we can simply understand right now. And for example, bank related program .py. This is file name and extension is .py. And after that, this entire code if you want to write this entire code into a single program, the user want to execute balance inquiry service. The user want to execute balance inquiry. So for the balance inquiry is where in the middle, the first logic is what? Deposit service, withdrawal service, balance inquiry service, net banking service, mobile banking service. So user want to execute this program, but user particular task is what actually? User particular task is only balance inquiry service purpose. User want to execute this entire program. User want to execute this entire program, but user particular requirement is what? Balance inquiry. So you only one task purpose, this entire program will execute by the user. So these all services in the sequence mode na, first deposit service and next withdrawal service, after that balance inquiry service, and next one net banking service, and last one mobile banking service. So user particular requirement is what? Balance inquiry service. Balance inquiry service. But user want to, for this only one inquiry service purpose, only one service purpose, this entire program user want to execute. Because of this is available in the middle part. Here we have written the code, and this entire code without using functions. Without functions, we have to write this entire code. So that is the major advantage. If user want to execute this service, then compulsory all services also will execute one by one in the sequence mode. In the sequence mode, first deposit service will execute. After that withdrawal service is also execute, and next one balance service execute. After balance inquiry, these two services also not required, but according to program execution, these services also have to execute without user permission. So actually user particular task is what? Only balance inquiry. But if user want to execute this function, all services will execute at a time. All services will execute at a time. So it is very time consuming process, and user also will not satisfy for this bank project. User also will not satisfy for this bank project, because of all services in the execution process. While executing time all services, it will take more time because of 1 lakh or 2 lakh lines of code we have now. So line by line it is reading by the processor. So it is taking more time. It will take more time while executing time. So user should not wait for this service. Should not wait for this service. But user want to know about his balance. So that is the major problem. So to avoid this all kind of problems, functions has introduced it, and once you write the code into the function, if you want to execute, just you can call that function only. So that related function only execute. How to write? So first, now I am writing deposit service into a function. Now I am writing deposit service into a, deposit function. So user want to execute withdrawal function, and next one is withdrawal service. Withdrawal function, and next one balance inquiry function. Here instead of service, you have to write the function. So this is balance inquiry function, and next one net banking, and next one mobile banking also we have. So function is common. So if you write this code by using functions, user want to execute na? User want to execute which function? Only balance inquiry function. So if user call this function, only balance inquiry function will only execute. Only balance inquiry function, only it will execute, and remaining functions, this entire is bank project. This all services are bank project only, related to bank project. That program is all services. You have here you used functions instead of writing without functions. Here you used functions. If you use the functions, if user call this only this function, this particular function will execute. So that is the major advantage of by using functions. I mean, as per our requirement, if user want to deposit call the deposit function, only deposit function will execute. Remaining functions will not execute. But user particular task is what? Only balance inquiry function purpose. So that user call this balance inquiry function, then only this particular balance inquiry function will execute. Remaining functions will not execute by the interpreter. So only balance inquiry time is what? For example, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or 1 minute, 2 minutes. Just 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Below 5 minutes are enough. If user want to wait only 5 minutes, immediately it will return the balance, which is the balance available in his account. That balance code it will return for the user, and remaining functions will not execute. But user want to execute bank project, but in that again user has a chance to choose the which function need to execute. User have a chance to choose a particular balance inquiry function here. If user want to execute withdrawal function, then user want to click the withdrawal function. So instead of balance inquiry function, withdrawal function it will execute. Remaining all functions it will not execute. Remaining all functions will not execute. Now understand now? So once you write the code by using functions, so that function number of times you can call. So that means code reusability is possible. This is function 1. Function 1 logics is also we have, and statements, and user calling function 1. Here definition, function logic we have, function definition we have. User calling one time, so one time it will execute. One more time if you call, and one more time if you call, so same function it will execute one more time, and one more time he will call, same function will execute one more time. So here you have to write the logic. But how many times you have to return the logic here? Only one time. But if you call multiple times it will execute. So that means it is executing multiple times with the same logic now. With the same logic it is executing multiple times. But as per our requirement, we have to call that function. So that is the great advantages of reusability. Once you write the code, number of times we are calling. So that is the meaning of code reusability. And next one, better testing. Programmers can test each function in a program individually. To determine whether it is correctly performs its operation or not. All of you carefully observe here. Programs can test each function in a program individually. For example, in your program contain function 1, function 2, function 3. So, and the third benefit is what? Better testing. If you write by using functions this entire code by using functions instead of writing in the single program, if you use functions for this and for these services, and separately you need to write the service and you keep that related code into a related function. So if you write like this by using functions, the user want to check first deposit function. It is, user means here we have discussed about the developer. The developer simply they can check deposit function whether it is working correctly or not. If it is working, the testing process is very easy because of this entire lines. How many lines of code it will take? For example, 1 lakh lines it will take. So if you divide, divide large program into small program. If you write but that small related code into a deposit function or withdrawal function, balance inquiry function, net banking function, mobile banking function, then that 1 lakh code divided into a small pieces of code na. So that small pieces of code checking process is very easy to compare to entire program checking. To compare to entire program checking, the deposit function, I mean, it can split, and after that it can place into a deposit function or withdrawal function, balance inquiry function, and it can get the 100 lines of code. I mean, for example, just assume deposit function will get the code only 100 lines of code, withdrawal function it will get the 200 lines of code, balance inquiry it will get the 150 lines of code, net banking it will get the 300 lines of code, mobile banking it will get the 100 lines of code. So by checking 1 lakh lines of code at a time, 100 lines of code and 150 lines of code, it is checking is very, compared to this one, compared to entire program checking, the pieces of code checking is very easy enough, very easy to understand. So that is the advantages of, that is the great advantage of testing. So by splitting this entire code into a small pieces of code, then the checking process is becomes very easy. So that is the great advantage here. Programmers can test each function in a program individually to determine whether it is correctly performs its operation or not. సో మీరు ఇలా రాయటం వల్ల, సపరేట్ చేసి ఆ కోడ్ని డిపాజిట్ ఫంక్షన్లో, విత్డ్రాల్ ఫంక్షన్లో, బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎంక్వైరీ ఇలా రాయటం వల్ల ప్రోగ్రామర్ ఈచ్ ఫంక్షన్ని ఒక ఇండివిజువల్గా చెక్ చేస్తాడు. వైల్ డెవలపింగ్ టైం, వన్స్ హీ విల్ చెక్ నా ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటింగ్ కరెక్ట్లీ ఆర్ నాట్. సో ఫస్ట్ డిపాజిట్ ఫంక్షన్ it will check. First deposit function checked by the programmer. If the deposit function will execute correctly, it will give the correct answers. I mean, it will give the correct output. Then the function checking is over. So compared to this entire code checking, simple pieces of code checking becomes very easy, very easy to understand and very easy to modify if you have any mistakes. So that is the great advantages of functions for the developers. Testing process is also very easy. And next one, faster development. The fourth benefit is faster development. Python is not just one of the most rapidly developing coding languages, but also one that allows our quick prototyping and iterations. That means if you want to use while loops by using functions, and if you want to write a pieces of code into a functions, that development is very easy and very fastly it will execute. Because of, already just now I told you, instead of writing this entire code into a single program, just you need to split this entire code into a small pieces of code and put into your functions. If you write like this, if you write like a particular function, it will execute. If you call that withdrawal function, only withdrawal function it will execute. If you call that balance inquiry function, that balance inquiry function only it will execute. If you want to, I mean, if you call mobile banking function, that mobile banking function it will execute. But while executing this one and remaining functions will not execute. But instead of writing without functions this entire code into a single program, then if you execute this program, all services will execute at a time. Then it will take more time. So it will take more time. The execution is becomes slow. Am I correct or not? All services executing in all times. All services are executing. So that is wrong process. But if you use the functions, that related user choose anyone, withdrawal, balance inquiry, net banking, anyone he can choose. So that function only it will execute. Remaining functions it will not execute. So time consuming is also very less. Fast results it will get. So that is the advantages of this one. Fast development and fast execution. Easier facilitation of teamwork. When a program is developed as a set of functions that each performs an individual task, then different programmers can be assigned the job for writing different functions. So without functions, if you want to develop this bank project, only one programmer need to develop all services. So it is a burden of process for the developer while developing time. It is a burden process because of all services. Only one person need to development is very critical. So it will take more time. So if you divide these services into your functions, then this function, deposit function development is assigned to one programmer, and withdrawal function development is will assign to some other programmer, like the balance inquiry, net banking, mobile banking, and each concept can share into a different programmers. So deposit will take by the other programmer, and withdrawal is another programmer, balance increase is another programmer. Like that, here 5 services we have. These 5 services, 5 programmers need to develop. Then the burden is also divided into a some other programmers, and it can, I mean, the task has shareable if you use that functions. So that is the teamwork process. So the development is also very fast by using functions. Next one, generating random numbers by using value returning functions. So random numbers are also useful for the statistical data analysis, encrypt sensitive data, and mostly used in games. Actually, random numbers where we have to use statistical data analysis, nothing but 100 years data and 200 years data sometimes want to analysis. Sometimes the government want to analysis, or sometimes want to do the analysis on the complete statistical data. I mean, for example, sales data you have. Amazon, for example, we have to take Amazon. Amazon contain, Amazon, when they have introduced an Amazon company, maximum 10 years or 20 years before now. So the 20 years data, how much sales they have done. So that statistical analysis also by using these random numbers. And next one, encrypt sensitive. Next one, encrypt sensitive data. Encryption means if it is some other source, the data is available some other source, the data want to encrypt. The data want to encrypt. Encrypt means conversion. Encrypt means conversion. For example, passwords, bank related data, all those things are sensitive data. Na? So the sensitive data compression is also using random numbers, by using random numbers only. And next one, mostly used in games. Actually, random numbers are mostly used in games. For example, you are playing Ludo game. Na? Ludo game contains dice. Na? If you fell down the dice, what it will show? You don't know anything. 1 to 6 numbers in between, anything it will show. Any one number it will show. Am I correct or not? Based on that given number, you can move your coin by loading by in the Ludo games. In the Ludo games, if you want to play the game Ludo game, compulsory dice you need to use. Na? The dice contains 6 numbers. One side 1, and second other side 2, and some other side 3. Like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers we have. So if you rotate that dice and immediately fell down that one, that number you don't know, but it will show one number compulsory. So that number you don't know. So that is called a random number. That process is called a random number. So that random process is going on by using, that random process is using in statistical data analysis and encrypt sensitive data also. As per their requirement, they have to introduce some other concept also. and one more game is also there. In the computers or laptops, if you install the Windows 10 or Windows operating system, one game is there, Solitaire. In that, cards you need to pick. You need to pick cards. So if you click on that cards, what it will show, we don't know, but only one card it will show compulsory at a time. If you click one time, it will show one card, and next, if you don't want that one, you don't pick that one. Again, you want to click one more card. Again, it will show one more card. Like that, if you click that, probably it will show. Your required card it will not show, but probably it will show. In that case, if you in that case you will get some cards one by one randomly by giving the inputs, by clicking the mouse. Just clicking the mouse, one time it will show one card, and second time it will show one more card. So that card, you can't estimate that card. You never assume that card, because of that is randomly displaying. It is completely memory dependent. So that type of process is called random numbers. So almost games are using random numbers. Already here I given one program also, just you simply develop that one, and practical is also I will show right now. And Python provides several library functions. In that, random is also one of the predefined inbuilt library. One of the predefined inbuilt library. If you want to develop a random numbers program, compulsory predefined random library we need to import. Predefined random library we need to import. In C language, hash include stdio.h we are using now. That means that library we are assigning to our current developing program. If you write that line, immediately printf and scanf functions will detect. Otherwise, that two statements will not identify by the interpreter. Will not identified by the interpreter. In C++ is also iostream.h is there now. Hash include iostream.h. So if you write like that, cout and cin functions will detect because of that functionality definition declared along with that predefined libraries. Like that, randint function is there. Randint function is there. What purpose we can use this randint function? If you want to generate random numbers, compulsory randint function we can use. But that randint function definition is available in random predefined library. In Python programming language, how we can import that one? How we can add that library, predefined library? How we can add? By using import keyword. Import is a predefined keyword. For your understanding purpose, I am developing one program. All of you carefully observe. Instead of using hash include stdio.h, here I am using import keyword. By using import keyword, random predefined library I am importing. RANDOM. It is an inbuilt library. Comes with along with Python software. But in your current program, if you want to import that one, import keyword is mandatory. Along with import keyword, you need to write this predefined library name. Then only it will import. I mean that random library linked to this file. Link to this file. After that, now I am writing one function, definition function. If you want to write any function, compulsory def keyword must and shouldly we need to use. And random number. Random number is our function name. Now I am defining this function. So one colon symbol must and should be required after parenthesis. Parenthesis is nothing but these brackets, opening bracket and closing brackets. This is user defined function, random number. So this logic I am writing, how it will generate the random numbers. Next print random, random. So random is the library, this one, predefined library. In the random library contain randint inbuilt function. So I am giving the restrictions here. For example, if you take the if you take the dice is there na, in the Ludo game. If you just touch in your phone, it will rotating number of times and it will show one number 1, 2, 3 or okay na, like that. How many numbers it will generate? Only 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That range I am giving here. So in between 1 to 6, it will show the numbers. Here compulsory one indentation space must and should be required. This is called indentation space. If you write like this, then this print statement belongs to random number. So this line belongs to this one. So the function definition is over. Right now. If you want to execute this random number function, compulsory you need to call now. So like that, now I am calling random number. So this is the calling procedure. So this is definition. ఇక్కడ నేను ఫంక్షన్ లాజిక్ రాశాను. ఇక్కడ ఫంక్షన్ ని ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయడానికి కాల్ చేస్తున్నాను. కాల్ చేయడం అంటే ఏం లేదు, జస్ట్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు ఏ ఫంక్షన్ ఏమైతే ఇచ్చారో పారాంథసిస్ వరకు అది డిక్లేర్ చేయడమే. అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఫంక్షన్ లాజిక్. నేనేం ప్రింట్ చేయమన్నాను? 1 to 6 నెంబర్స్ మధ్యలో ఏ నెంబర్ అయినా సరే ప్రింట్ చేయి. but 1 to 6 దాటి ఉండకూడదు. That range you don't cross this range in between 1 to 6. You need to in between, I mean including with 1 and including with 6, you need to display. So that is the concept. So now I am rotating. How it will rotating? By calling this one. Now I am saying this one, save as rand.py. Rand.py. Save as type is all files. On the desktop I am saving. Now I am minimizing all windows. For executing purpose I am opening command prompt. And here I am converting into a desktop, I mean location. Actually because of our file is available on the desktop, so that's why. Rand.py. So what it is showing, 4 is the output na. So now first time I am rotated here. First time I am executing na rand.py. So second time, one more time I am executing. మీరు డైస్ వేసినప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ టైం వేసినప్పుడు ఒక వాల్యూ చూపిస్తుంది, సెకండ్ టైం వేసినప్పుడు ఇంకో వాల్యూ చూపిస్తుంది. బట్ చూపించిన వాల్యూ ఇమీడియట్గా చూపించాలని లేదు, అలాగని చూపించకూడదు అని లేదు. ఐ కరెక్ట్ ఆర్ నాట్? 1 to 6 నెంబర్స్ మధ్యలో ఎన్నిసార్లు అయినా మీరు డైస్ ప్లే చేయొచ్చు, అది ఏ నెంబర్ అయినా చూపించవచ్చు. బట్ ఇది చూపించాలి అనుకున్నప్పుడు 1 to 6లోనే చూపించాలి కంపల్సరీ. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద random number concept. Now I am executing. What it is showing? 1. But in between 1 to 6 it is showing some other number, it will not show because of in the program I have restricted the range 1 to 6 starting number and ending number. Now I am executing one more time. Now I am executing one more time. Like that, if you want to execute number of times, then you can proceed. It will show in between 1 to 6 numbers only, along with, I mean including with 1 to 6 also. Now understand now? So that is the generating random numbers concept. Here for your understanding purpose I given one own function. How to write our own function by our own logic. So our requirement is what? Actually generating random numbers. So for that here I am using this one. So just practice this one, you can understand this one. Without practice you cannot understand this program also. I hope you enjoyed this session. In the next session we will discuss about the how to design a program by using functions. That concept we will discuss. Thank you very much.